other news as it relates to the Buccaneers, and look, we're mentioning Shiloh Sanders for the same reason we mentioned Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. A lot of people care about Shiloh Sanders. He was officially waived yesterday. His dad, Dion, talked about it at the Colorado press conference. They're hoping he gets another opportunity.
My kids, all of them. And I prepared my kids for any and everything that could possibly happen in life and in sports. That's part of fathering, that's part of parenting, that's part of having a relationship. So he is mentally where he needs to be, physically where he needs to be. We're praying that he gets another opportunity to go with a team.
But the NFL rumor mill just turned into a full-blown soap opera, and the spotlight's now on Shiloh Sanders. Insiders are buzzing like somebody rolled a food truck into training camp, and the chatter is louder than a sideline Gatorade crash. The big question? Is Shiloh about to make a move that flips the league upside down, or at least sends the internet into meltdown mode? Either way, buckle up, this plot twist is one nobody had on their bingo card.
We do got some breaking news coming out from the NFL world. It is being reported that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers informed rookie safety Shiloh Sanders that he is being waived. His agent also added, "We're hoping he gets claimed on the waivers." So the crazy thing about this is that not even 24 hours ago, he got ejected in a preseason game for throwing a punch at the other team. And then obviously this morning he gets waived. It just wasn't a good look, especially when you're already on the bubble of not making the team, but have the chance to make the team. Any little mistake that you make, you're gone.
If you're enjoying, please subscribe to the channel. It helps more than you think. The NFL rumor mill has gone full daytime drama, and for once it's not Tom Brady staging his 75th comeback or Aaron Rodgers launching another crystal shop in Malibu. This time, all eyes are on Shiloh Sanders, the swagger-filled safety with a taste for highlight hits, flashier fits, and a last name that echoes louder than a halftime marching band. The buzz isn't just noise, it's the kind of chatter that makes the league lean in and pay attention.
I've been talking to my agent, and we're waiting on the next opportunity. If that's the NFL, cool. In every athlete's life, it becomes a point to where the game ends for you.
Whoa.
And I'm not saying that's what it is now. I'm just saying mentally I'm good. The NFL is just, they call it not for long league. Nothing's ever certain. You always want to have other interests with music, acting, modeling.
NFL insiders are swarming like hawks, and the buzz around Shiloh Sanders' next move couldn't be spicier. Let's be honest, the NFL runs on drama the same way college football runs on tailgate chili, messy, overblown, and always addictive. And right now, the whispers feel less like gossip and more like a script ripped from a Hollywood drama. The headline practically writes itself: Shiloh Sanders could be switching teams. And this isn't your run-of-the-mill speculation, it's the kind of insider-certified, stamp of approval chatter that makes the whole league sit up and pay attention.
I doubt that he'd be claimed on waivers. The question is, does he land on someone's practice squad and get a chance to develop there? I think for him, and I heard that they loved him in Tampa, great kid, very respectful, was very remorseful after he got ejected the other night for throwing a punch. There's just a basic talent requirement that some people just don't have. There's only a small percentage of society a very small, minuscule percentage of American society that possesses the requisite skills to be on an NFL roster. It's 53 spots for 32 teams, 1,696. That's it. It's a small, small industry. And as much as you want it, you grew up dreaming about it, the spirit is willing, the flesh is weak.
This buzz didn't just pop up out of thin air. It's not the work of some bored fan on Twitter with a burner account and a bad Photoshop job slapping Shiloh into a Cowboys jersey. No, this came straight from the NFL's inner circle, the folks who know how many gallons of Gatorade a team burns through in a week and which assistant coach quietly breaks down in the film room. When that crowd starts whispering, it's never noise, it's a signal. And this signal? It's the kind of fire that makes rival teams clutch their depth charts like prayer beads, bracing for what's coming next.
At the end of the day, he just wasn't good enough, and there are players that are better fits and better talents that could step up if needed. I think if his name was Shiloh Smith, if his name was Shiloh Brown, if it was Shiloh Johnson, we're not talking about him. Schefter's not tweeting about him. Rappaport's not tweeting about him. People are not up in arms that he got cut.
Now, to fully understand why Shiloh's name is suddenly a currency in the insider economy, you've got to rewind a little and take a look at the Sanders family legacy. Because being a Sanders isn't like being any other NFL hopeful. It's not just about 40 times in tape. It's about the glitter, the aura, the fact that you walk into a stadium and people expect you to play like a video game character with all the sliders maxed out. Deion Primetime Sanders didn't just play football. He played football like a man who knew every camera in the building was on him. He made interceptions look like Broadway debuts and touchdown dances look like Vegas shows. You don't get to be a Sanders and just fade into special teams obscurity. No, you're expected to either star in primetime or create enough controversy to trend on TMZ. Shiloh gets this, and the NFL insiders get it too. Which is why his possible move isn't being treated like just another defensive back signing. It's being dissected like it could alter the gravitational pull of the league itself.
Did Shiloh Sanders just get treated unfairly? Sanders was waived by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and is currently not on an NFL roster. But the reason he was waived seemed to be a direct result from this incident where he hit a Bills player. He was waived 24 hours after he got ejected for that hit. In a post-game press conference, Todd Bowles called that hit inexcusable. But people are saying that the Bucs just used this as an out to get rid of Shiloh. They didn't like all the drama that came with the Sanders name, so they just ditched him for this incident. Y'all tell me this, was Shiloh simply not good enough to make—
Let's talk current career snapshot, because that's where the intrigue deepens. At Colorado, Shiloh has been more than just a player, he's been a statement. A leader on defense, a hitter who doesn't shy from contact, and a personality that matches the flash of his father. He's had his highlight reels, the kind of plays that go viral faster than you can say SportsCenter Top 10. And yes, there have been the moments where critics nitpick, injury worries, consistency questions, whispers about whether his upside is elite or just decent. But here's the thing, when your name is Sanders, decent is never on the menu. And that's why NFL insiders are convinced his next step is brewing. The type of player whose press conference alone could generate more views than an entire Jaguars preseason game. But why now? Why is the Sanders buzz suddenly hitting full throttle? Insiders point to timing. Teams right now are reshuffling, cutting, and quietly shopping for value. Depth at safety is a need for several franchises, and Shiloh happens to check both boxes. Potential on the field and instant attention off it. In an era where NFL franchises care almost as much about clicks as they do about blitzes, Shiloh is practically a golden ticket.
And the Buccaneers clearly didn't like that because say if that was an NFL game, 1, you're ejected, 2, that's a 15-yard penalty, and that can win you a game or lose you a game. So it'll be interesting to see if any other team does give Shiloh Sanders another opportunity. It's not like Shiloh Sanders was a top pick. It's not like he is one of the best safeties out there. He's working. He has to be one of those players that are working 10 times harder than others to be on a roster. So it's unfortunate, but
so naturally, the rumor mill hasn't just stopped at he's moving. It's already churning out lists of potential landing spots like it's a fantasy draft run by TMZ. And at the top of the chatter are some familiar names. Teams that make you go, oh, that would actually make sense, followed immediately by, wow. The NFL would eat that storyline alive. One of the juiciest possibilities? The Dallas Cowboys. Yes, of course, because if there's a Sanders family reunion waiting to happen, Jerry Jones has already commissioned the promotional video. Adding Shiloh would be more than a football move, it would be a branding bonanza. Bringing in Shiloh wouldn't just be a personnel decision, it would be a citywide event. Falcons fans would dust off their old Deion jerseys and pretend their franchise hasn't been allergic to winning big games for decades. Then there's the Denver Broncos. A move that would keep Shiloh close to his Colorado roots. It's convenient, it's clean, and it gives the Broncos something they desperately need, headlines that don't involve their quarterback situation being a dumpster fire. Imagine the easy transition, same fan base, similar altitude, just a bigger stage.
But if he doesn't, the plans have already been put forward to what he's going to do next. So Shiloh is a man of many talents. I don't know if you guys know, he's a man of many talents, and he's going to be straight. All the Sanders are going to be straight, with or without football. You better believe that. You better believe that. I take care of mine, and I've always have, and y'all know what I mean.
Each of these potential landing spots tells a different story, but the common thread is clear. Wherever Shiloh goes, he won't just be a player, he'll be a headline. And that's exactly what the NFL craves in its current era of sports meets show business. But before diving deeper into the potential fits, let's zoom out on what this actually means for Shiloh himself. Because this isn't just about picking a team like you pick a fast food spot after practice. This move could define how he's viewed for the next chapter of his career. Starter or role player? Breakout or background? The margin is razor thin, and the Sanders name guarantees the spotlight will burn twice as hot. No, this is Shiloh. Every tackle he makes has a soundtrack. Every pick he grabs feels like a family heirloom. And every mistake? Magnified like it's the Zapruder film. That's the double-edged sword of being Prime's kid. You don't just have to play well, you have to play memorably. The Sanders legacy has never been about quietly doing your job. It's about strutting, shining, and making the kind of noise that drowns out the opposing team's band. And Shiloh knows that better than anyone.
The headlines: the Buccaneers informed rookie Shiloh Sanders today that he's being waived. His agent, Drew Rosenhaus, Robert Bailey, a former teammate of mine with the Ravens, added, "We're hoping he get claimed off waivers." Ocho,
yeah.
Where do you think Shiloh will land?
You know what? I'm not sure where he will land. There's some teams out there that could use some depth, especially at the safety position. I'm not sure what the Bengals look like in the secondary. I think Steelers can add. The Saints can add to their secondary.
So when insiders confirm that a move is brewing, they're not just talking about a depth chart adjustment. They're talking about Shiloh potentially planting his flag in a new city, a new locker room, a new storyline. And here's where it gets spicy. This isn't just about what team he goes to, it's about what role he's stepping into. Starter? Rotational safety? Media darling who gets more screen time in commercials than in cover 2 schemes? All are on the table. And let's not kid ourselves, NFL teams love a good media darling almost as much as they love a solid game plan. In today's league, your ability to trend on Instagram can sometimes outweigh your ability to tackle in open space. Now, let's slide into the family dynamic because you simply cannot talk about Shiloh's next move without acknowledging the gravitational pull of Deion Sanders. Primetime isn't just a father, he's practically a one-man media empire, a walking, talking billboard whose influence stretches from college football Saturdays to NFL Sundays. You think GMs haven't considered how signing Shiloh might come with bonus primetime coverage? Please. Some of these execs are practically salivating at the thought of ESPN parking a camera crew outside their facility just because Shiloh laces up cleats there.
Could the Sanders brothers be household names in the Canadian Football League in just a couple of months? Now, as many of you guys know, Shiloh Sanders was recently released from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just 24 hours after he was ejected from the final preseason game. And Shiloh Sanders had a very rough performance for the Cleveland Browns on his final attempt. Now, while these brothers' NFL futures are still up in the air, I'm sure Shiloh is going to stay on the Browns, folks. We can calm down here. Shiloh's a different conversation. It sounds like the Toronto Argonauts have added former Colorado safety Shiloh to their negotiating list, including Shador.
Deion's shadow looms large, but it's not the kind of shadow that suffocates, it's the kind that shines spotlights. Wherever his sons go, Prime goes too, in one form or another. That means more exposure, more noise, more storyline fuel. And in a league where optics are often as important as on-field results, that's a valuable asset. Some might call it baggage, insiders call it a package deal. Now, let's circle back to those top landing spots, because the insiders aren't just throwing darts at a map here. A Sanders in Dallas would be less about filling a hole in the secondary and more about filling a stadium with hype. And insiders know Jerry loves hype like oxygen. or the Atlanta Falcons. Insiders see this as the nostalgia play, the full circle moment. Atlanta desperately needs energy, and Shiloh could bring a jolt. Imagine prime time popping up on Falcons sidelines again, not as a player, not as a coach, but as the father of their newest signing. The city would light up, not because they're suddenly Super Bowl contenders, but because they'd finally have a story worth talking about. And then, of course, the Denver Broncos. For insiders, this is the easy-to-explain move. Keep Shiloh close to Boulder, give him a chance to acclimate in a familiar environment, and ride the wave of Colorado hype.
Right before this, you can see the play is over, right? And the play might not be over, but the play is way over there. So this dude is just being extra. Like, everybody's been through this if you played football. He went and found Shiloh, right? He ran straight to him with just all this aggression for no reason, just doing the most, right? You can go get a little hit. That's cool. Like, I respect you, Shiloh. Get a little hit. Boom. Like, it's love. This is football. It's what we like to do. But just the way that he's just being extra at the end.
That's the tight end, Zach Davidson.
Like, come on, bro. I see nothing but a dude just defending himself. Like, let's be real.
Denver's in the middle of an identity crisis anyway, so why not slap a Sanders name on it and pretend you're rebuilding with flair? It's tidy, it's marketable, and it doesn't require Shiloh to uproot his entire world. Each of these scenarios has enough meat on the bone that insiders are confident this isn't just smoke. They're connecting dots, pulling on threads, and seeing how the puzzle pieces click. They're not just reporting that Shiloh might move, they're hinting that this move could be calculated, strategic, and backed by more than just a front office whim. Now, what does this mean for Shiloh himself? It's a career crossroads, plain and simple. Every player hits it at some point, the moment where their next step determines if they're destined for steady relevance or if they're just another name scrolling on the bottom ticker of a mid-season broadcast. That's why insiders aren't dismissing this move as a minor shuffle. They're treating it like a storyline that could reshape how people talk about him. Of course, the skeptics exist too. There are always those scouts and critics who roll their eyes, muttering about his draft grade, his coverage lapses, his tendency to chase highlight hits instead of sticking to fundamentals.
He's going to get claimed. Where he gets claimed, I'm not sure where that will be yet. Listen, for one, he has Austin representation and Robert Bailey and Drew Rosenhaus. Obviously, they represented me while I was playing, during my tenure. So he will get picked up. Where he gets picked up, I'm not sure, but he has the right person in his corner to make sure he gets another opportunity to play the game that he loves.
Sometimes your last name can be a blessing and a curse. It's not normal that free agents have breaking news that they're being released.
They'll argue that the hype outweighs the production. But that's the beauty of the NFL in 2025, it's not just about raw production anymore. It's about the complete package. And Shiloh, for better or worse, is the complete package: talent, charisma, legacy, and a knack for being the center of attention. Insiders confirm this move not because Shiloh is the best safety on the market, but because he's the most intriguing one. He's the shiny object teams can't help but look at, the storyline too good to ignore. And in a league that thrives on entertainment as much as execution, that's sometimes all it takes to get the ball rolling. So where does that leave us? At the edge of a fascinating what's next cliffhanger. Shiloh Sanders is moving, and the chatter has gone from speculative gossip to boardroom-level conversations. This isn't the kind of rumor you shrug off like a bad mock draft. It's the kind of leak that has GM sweating, fan bases refreshing Twitter like it's a life support machine, and sports talk shows clearing entire segments just to argue about whether Shiloh's swagger translates to wins.